homes. And what, so basically when you put solar on your homes, you generate either all or most of your electricity, but there are times in the winter where you're not producing a surplus, so you have to buy some electricity from the utility. And what they're proposing to do in the state of Oklahoma is charge those customers more for their electricity because the electric company is suffering, is losing revenue as a result of their solar installation. Same things happen in Arizona. And you know who's behind it? Is our dear friend the Koch brothers. Oh. They're putting millions and millions of dollars into fighting at the state level to penalize those of us who do rooftop solar. And Walmart family, the Walton family, is behind it as well, because it turns out they have a majority share of a solar company which sells utility scale solar. So they want to basically penalize everybody out here who wants to put solar on their home and make a better market for their product. So there's going to be a lot of pushback. It's going to get ugly. I guarantee it's going to get ugly, but it will get better. I can also guarantee you that. So this is another interesting graph. This shows you these. Remember the national average now for solar and wind is about 6.25%, 6.2%. This shows you all the states that are actually generating more than 12% of their electricity from renewables. And this shows this slightly lighter green states that are 6.3 to 12.6%. And then the next color down is 3.2 to 6.3%. So you can see an awful lot of states are already double the national average. Now, there are 11 states right now that currently produce electricity at twice the national average, which is 6.2%. Somewhere between 14 and 32% of their net electrical generation comes from renewables. That's exciting news. That's really exciting news. Maine, for example, gets 32% of its electricity from renewables. Most of it is wood, so maybe that's not such a good. South Dakota and Iowa. More than 25% of their electricity comes from renewables, mostly wind. I couldn't have said this 4 or 5 years ago. I could not have stood up here in Kansas. Now, Kansas is not exactly the most progressive state when it comes to energy policy and a few other things. Generates 24.7% of its energy from renewables. That's exciting news. California, 18%. If they exclude the hydropower, 18% from solar and wind. Germany now 20%. Germany's goal is 100% renewable economy. China's goal is 21% by 2015. Japan's shooting even higher. So that's exciting news to see the world catching on. We've got rapid growth, prices have come down, and really we've only just begun to tap into the potential. This is a map that was produced by the National Renewable Energy Lab. And it's basically a map of renewable energy resources in the United States. And you can see everything here that's in orange, this whatever color that is, all that's good solar. That's good solar. Everything that's blue or purple is wind, and this is all biomass. So the point of this graphic was to show you that there's an enormous amount of renewable energy potential, huge amount of potential for solar. And remember, that energy can be shipped to areas, can be moved through the electric grid to areas that require energy. So this is just a map of the U.S. wind power potential. And basically, North and South Dakota are the Saudi Arabia of wind. I mean, they've got so much wind power. Of course, Rush Limbaugh's running around the country, or not really running around the country, but he's advertising on the radio that we can't have wind because it's slowing down the rotation of the Earth. And Rush, being a trained scientist, has got this nailed. So if you notice that your days are getting longer, that's why, because the wind turbines are slowing down the rotation of the Earth. Now, here's an interesting statistic. Only about half of 1/1000th of the sun's energy actually strikes planet Earth. Only about half of 1/1000th strikes planet Earth. But the energy striking the Earth in a 40-minute period, if you could somehow capture that, in a 40-minute period, it's equal to all the energy that we consume in an entire year. Okay? So 0.5%, if you just captured 40 minutes of it, it would be equal to all the coal, oil, natural gas, wind, every bit of energy, wood, every form of energy that we use. So the potential is enormous. Don't ever let anybody tell you the potential's not there. The potential is huge. This is also an extremely interesting graph. This came out of the Department of Energy years ago, actually during the Carter administration. And this is the U.S. annual energy consumption, okay? This is how much uranium we have left. This is the gas, this represents the gas reserves. Here are the oil reserves, and here are coal reserves, okay? Remember, so there's, a fair amount here, okay? And remember, these are finite. They're fossil fuels, they're finite, except for uranium is not a fossil fuel. Here is the solar potential, and this is annually available to us. Annually available. This is what we need. This is what's available from sunlight using currently existing technologies. So once again, the potential is huge. Now, what I'd like to recap that. Remember, there's a lot of renewable energy, tremendous amount of renewable energy. The prices have plummeted, so don't let anybody tell you that it's too expensive. It's really, the prices have come down dramatically. It's cost competitive with conventional sources of electricity, and the growth has been next to phenomenal, absolutely next to phenomenal. We should all be celebrating tonight. And I truly think that a sustainable energy revolution has begun, and we are part of it. We are part of it. And you can be a bigger part of it. As a college professor, I get away with things, in audiences wherever I speak in the country, and I say, now your assignment is to go home and put at least 4 solar modules on your roof. Even if you can't afford a huge array, at least get 4 on your roof. Let's get this energy revolution moving. So remember, we don't lack the technologies. We don't need to wait for higher efficiency modules, solar panels, or solar modules. We don't really need any technological breakthrough. The technologies we have right now are phenomenal. They work well. They're reliable. I like to tell people that solar actually solar modules come with a 25-year performance warranty. Now, so there's some people who worry, well, I'm not sure about this technology. Geez, it's kind of new and everything, and I don't know about this. Come with a 25-year warranty. The only warranty better than that is marriage. Marriage comes with a lifetime warranty, I'm getting some cynical laughing up front. I'm not sure what that's all about. But so we have to say that it actually comes with a better warranty than most marriages, okay? 25 years. We don't lack the renewable energy resources. There's absolutely no shortage of renewable, and I have great faith that we will pull out of this, that we will create a sustainable energy economy. After all, if we can invent a motorized bar stool, we can pretty much come up with anything. This had to be invented at a college somewhere in the Midwest. Now, so we're an ingenious, get some use out of these little rug racks. They're pretty ingenious. This comes out of Japan, by the way. Pretty ingenious society. Oh, that is sad, isn't it? All right. Now, closing thought. We have 30 to 50 years of oil until it's economically depleted. 30 to 50 years till it's economically depleted. We've got 5 billion years before the sun retires on us. What's the handwriting on the wall, my friends? It's inevitable. We're powered primarily by non-renewable energy resources. They're finite. At some point in human history, we are going to have to shift to renewables. Let's get onto it now while we can afford to. And clearly there's no shortage of resources. So I think we are at the sunset of the age of fossil fuels and at the sunrise of the age of renewable energy. We've really only just begun. All right, so that's all I have to say today. I'd be happy to entertain any questions you might have. Yes, Josh.
Okay, I think obviously one of the biggest pushbacks is going to be from utilities. They're going to be worried that their employees are going to lose their jobs. So are there any efforts to maybe employ people of other utilities in the renewable energy field?
So the question is that, one of the pushbacks is that when you shift to a new technology, jobs are going to be lost in one field, oil, natural gas, coal, and they'll shift to a new one. Are there any efforts now to retrain those people to work in this field? I'm not aware of any, but there are an awful lot of training. There are a number of training programs in the United States for folks who want to do that. But I'm not aware of any programs specifically to retrain coal, coal miners or engineers in the coal industry and solar and wind.